Hi guys, Saki with another Commander Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 3v3 match on the map Potholes. I'm starting in the bottom left position, playing as the allies. Now on this map, Potholes, the bottom left position is probably the best position on the map, and that's because right above me there's a big ore field and there's 3 ore patches in there, which is going to really mean I'm going to have a good economy later on in the game. And if initially I'm just sending some scouts out, so those infantry are just going in different directions and uncovering part of the map. And I'm getting that first ore refinery down. Now it is a ore only map, so I'm going to really have to focus on expanding my economy early on and just getting up into that next ore patch and making full use of those ore patches. And you can see I'm just sending my infantry around the different parts of the map, getting as much visibility as I can on this point and trying to block all the exit points so I don't let the other team get into my base. I am like the furthest back from all out of our teams, so that's probably a good thing. It means I'm less likely to get attacked, but what I'm going to need to make sure I do is provide support to my teammates, else they could be taken out quite early on. And now I'm just expanding into that next ore patch. Now the second ore refinery placement is going to be a bit delayed, just because of the way you have to expand into that top part, but it is really going to pay off later on. And we can see Red there guarding those entry points into his base, making sure I don't get enough visibility in there, because it's always useful if you can see what your opponent's doing. You have a better idea of when it's more like when it's good to attack and stuff like that. And I'm just going to send one of these ore trucks around just so it can start working on those top ore patches and go to the other ore refinery, because what I want to do is I want to spread my ore refineries out a little bit in case it turns into a long match. And you can see Red has a lot of troops at that entry point, so he's really blocking me. And there one of the other players is just pointing out that crate, which hasn't done too much. I always find it weird though that like when people point out crates in your base, I'm always wondering why they're looking in my base and why they're not focusing on theirs. But there you go, you do get it quite often. And you can see there Red has was that a mammoth tank? Yeah, it was. I think he might have had a crate for a mammoth tank, because I don't think he will have had a tech centre at this point. So that was probably quite a useful crate. Actually, those mammoth tanks are quite bulky. I do think they're a waste of money if you're getting them from a war factory, but if you get them from a crate, then it's a good day at this stage in the game, because if it's early on, obviously each tank makes a bigger difference, and as you get further into the game, then it just becomes less relevant. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building medium tanks, because usually you build quite a few light tanks early on just to get the tank numbers up. But now we're going to go and have a look at Red, and you can see Red has a lot of quite a few heavy tanks there, and also that mammoth tank with those heavy tanks. And we're going to see if we can get into his base from another direction. And I'm just having a look at my teammates and see how they're doing. It looks like they're all okay at the moment. And now I'm getting my third war factory down, so I have that increased building speed. I'm also going to be building some more trucks just to make sure I can utilise that building speed, because I will need to sort of like improve my economy if I'm going to be able to do that. And then another ore truck comes out, and I'm going to send that to the ore patch. I've also got an ore refinery on the build as well. So we're going to see, because you can see already my funds are quite low, so it's a good job I built those 2 extra ore trucks, which are going to obviously aid my production, so I'm able to make full use of those 3 war factories. And now I'm trying to expand my base further up so I can get to this next ore patch. And yeah, Red not doing too much at the moment. It looks like he's being quite quiet, so he seemed to have a decent defence, but he hasn't got on the attack yet. So what that's allowing me to do is it's allowing me to expand a little bit more and get onto these extra ore patches and really build these tank numbers up. So now we're going to see what we can do. We're going up for Red. He's got heavy tanks there. He's got a mammoth tank, and he's got a missile launcher, so a little bit of everything. And he's also got a Tesla, so he's really got them in. But there's Armin with his light tanks. So we've got light tanks, heavy tanks, mammoth tanks, and medium tanks all in the fight here. All types of tanks fighting it out. But you can see those pink tanks are numerous, and he's making sure we're not going to be able to get into his allies' base. So what I'm going to do is I want to keep a bit of pressure on this point here, because I want to keep pink fighting and focusing on this side of the map, because I don't want him to take out my teammates. And if my teammates can put some pressure on the right side of the map, that's going to be a real help. So I'm just bunching up my tanks here. I've now got a 4th war factory, and what I'm going to do initially is I'm going to build a couple of ore trucks and then start building more medium tanks. It doesn't look like the 2 teams above me are in a position to attack quite yet, and you can see I think as soon as like pink thinks I'm not going to put pressure on, he starts to pull back to his side of the map. So I'm just going to try and get a bit of visibility, see if pink's in his base or whatnot, and see if pink's in his base there. And you can see now pink is also transitioning to medium tanks, so I've got a bit more visibility just so I can see what's going on. I'm also going to get a radar dome so I can see what's going on the right side of the map. And we've also got satellite as well. One of our teammates has built a tech center, so that's made really useful for us because we can see what's going on in the different parts of the map. So we can see that pink is in the top right. He's also got an extra base. No, I thought it was an extra base. I think he's got an extra base a bit further down, but he's got some tanks on the right side as well. So my teammates, I'll have to fight through those if they're going to put a bit of pressure there. And you can see Cyan's also got some defences, so everyone defending their parts. And that's one of the things about Potholes, is it's quite hard. But Yellow's gone for a move. He's gone for some naval units, and that's what I like to see at this stage of the game, because those naval units are going to be able to take out a lot of Cyan's base, and it's going to make it very tricky for the other team moving around. So probably a good move for Yellow, given our position. As long as he has enough tanks to defend his base, that's the main thing. And you can see pink starting to move some units there. So we're going to need to make sure we defend this position. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send some tanks to Yellow's base, because although he's got naval units, he hasn't got that many tanks to defend. And also Rambo's green is going to need to defend against pink, so I'm sending some units to that side of the map as well. So I've got, basically tanks at all sides of the map at the moment. We've got some fighting Cyan here, and Cyan does look to be in a little bit of trouble. The problem is I do need to keep my tank numbers where red is and where pink is on the left side of the map, because if I take too many units, they will go on the attack on that position. And unfortunately, Yellow's lost his tech center, and that's really bad, because that means he's going to lose lose all his sight, all his vision of the map, and that's going to make it harder for his cruisers to do as much damage. And you can see there, medium tanks getting a bit stretched around, and what I need to do is focus on these tanks in Yellow's base at the moment, because Yellow, obviously a vital player. He does have some ships. He has got a service depot, thankfully, so if he does lose that MCV, at least he will be able to rebuild it. But you can see Cyan now trying to push further in, and what that'll do is it'll give them more map vision. And I'm just trying to send more tanks to this entry point, because you can see that Cyan is building up his tank numbers again at that point. He's only got one at the moment, but we don't know how many he'll get, and hopefully Yellow's going to be able to recover and start producing tanks again. You can see he's got some light tanks there, but those naval units are going to do some good damage, and I think they will really damage Cyan's base. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to push up. Unfortunately, it does look like Rambo's having a bit of a hard time on the right side of the map with Arbeen, who's obviously a very, very good player. But what we're going to do is we're going to try and put the pressure on the middle of the map, and what that'll mean is that the other teams, I'll have to try and probably defend there, and that'll obviously take some of Arbeen's tanks. Instead of going for the bottom right, he'll have to bring some to the middle. But the question is can we push through here? But now we're getting some help off Yellow's boats, and that's going to allow us to hopefully be able to push through and get a bit further. But we can see now some pink movement of tanks in the top left hand corner, so we're going to have to see, is he going for my base? He just seems to be going on the being aggressive right now. I do have a lot of tanks in that area though, so we'll have to see, does he decide to go on the attack? We're starting to bring our tanks into this middle part, and maybe what we'll do is we'll go for some of Pink's buildings, some of Armin's buildings, while he's focusing on the bottom right. We managed to break through that middle position, and now we're going to go for some of his economy and some also his war factory as well. So we'll have to see what he decides to do, because we can see he's sort of like broken through a little bit on the bottom right of the map. But if we do enough damage to his, like, the back, his base here, then that's going to mean he's not going to be able to provide the reinforcements he wants. And it does look to be going all right at the moment. And I think that Pink's going to need to respond to this, because I've got too many tanks in. And indeed he does. You can see him starting to bring tanks back now. And also Cyan bringing tanks in as well. And it looks like these tanks I've got here are probably going to get cleaned up. But what we have managed to do is we managed to get rid of a war factory. We've managed to destroy some of his outer buildings. And you can see he's actually got an MCV in that bottom right position now, which we're going to need to take out as well. So stopping his base expansion there, because what we would have been trying to do is take control of that ore patch in the bottom right. So that was a big win for us there. We managed to take out 2 MCVs and stop his base expansion. And now we can see him going for the top right position, left position, and I've got medium tanks there, and it looks like I have plenty of medium tanks, and when you got bottlenecks like that, it's very, very hard to attack. So yeah, he's having a bit of trouble there, and yeah, Pink's having to pull back, and yeah, he's just not being able to get enough. Yeah, he just didn't have enough tanks there, and what needed to happen is Red needed to go in with him, because you can see Red's got a lot of tanks there, but he's not using them. And what he's doing is he's providing a great defensive point. We're not going to break through the left side of the map, and I've got a lot of tanks there just in case, but it's the other sides of the map that because we're not too worried about the left side, I haven't had any pressure on my base. I've been able to send a lot of tank units to the right side of the map and help there, while Red's just sitting there a little bit and not doing too much. And now we're going for Cyan's base. We're trying to get rid of that ore refinery. He's also got a couple some like war factories up there as well, and now we're putting pressure there, but we can see that Green Rambo is coming on the right side of the map, and he's going to be able to put pressure on there. And you can see we're just able to put pressure on so many different parts, and those pink tanks in 2 greater numbers here. I'm going to have to pull back a little bit, but we do have some yellow boats on this side of the map, and now we can see I think Pink is going to that side again. We'll see what that crate is, and that's a money crate, which is all good at this stage of the game. And yeah, you can see those pink tanks in large numbers there. Cyan's been taken out mostly, but we do have those boats putting a little bit of damage to those pink tanks, and that's going to be a big problem for Armin, because he doesn't have any, like, tanks are just quite weak against boats in general, and if you have boats and tanks working in conjunction, I do have the lower tank numbers, but he's going to find it very difficult to push through that part of the base. I'm just having a look there. You can see that Pink has some economy going. And what I can see at the moment is that the map is becoming very bare for ore. There's not much ore on the top, and there's parts of the bottom part which don't have much ore either. And what I'm doing right now is I'm bringing a construction yard and MCV to this bottom right position, just so I can take control of that ore patch and hopefully get some defences there. And what I need to do is keep on putting pressure in the middle part of the map. So as soon as Pink goes for this bottom part, what I'm doing is I'm going in the middle and going for an attack there, and that forces Pink to come back. Let's see if he decides to come back at this point in time. I'm just having a look at his base. I'm looking at where his war factories are, and I can't see any like construction yards for Pink. So I don't know if he's got any construction yards left. Actually, I think we might have taken them out when we went for those earlier attacks, which I didn't actually notice. And now I'm just going to put this because I needed Pink out of this position because I'm getting that construction yard down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building some turrets in this position, this bottom position, the bottom right of the map, just to defend against those pink tanks. So now I've got turrets, I've got tanks from green as well, so that's going to make it give us a big advantage, and I don't think those pink tanks are going to get through. Yeah, we're just having a bit of trouble in the middle of the map, I guess, at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more tanks from that right-hand side and just take them to the middle, because you can see yellow's base is in trouble at the moment, but also pink's base is also in trouble. And I've just got some turrets down there. And yeah, you can see now he's going for the construction yard of yellow, and it doesn't look like yellow has much to defend right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these tanks up. I'm going to try and take out that radar dome, which will obviously inconvenience pink quite a bit. And now can we see pink going back, or is he just going to focus on taking out yellow's base? We'll have to wait and see. Just taking out as many pink tanks as we can at the moment. It looks like we do have the better tank numbers, and we might be able to win this fight. A lot of those pink tanks are on low HP, and it looks like he's going to be pushed back, and he's lost a lot of tanks there, and he's not going to be able to replenish those that easily. I think he has 2 war factories in his base, and so he's going to find it very difficult from this point. And we'll have to see what he decides to do. I can see on the radar dome he's taking tanks into this bottom right-hand position, and it does look like I'm going to be taken out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the attack. You can see I've still got a tank there attacking his radar dome, and while he's destroying my base, I'm going to destroy parts of his base, and that's going to have a bigger impact because obviously he doesn't have a construction yard by the looks of it, and now red is going in for the fight. What I'm going to do is I can take out that ore refinery because obviously that'll just destroy a lot of his economy. You can see red chasing those tanks, and I'm just going for that ore refinery because that's going to put a bit of pain on his production, like he's done to my base in the bottom right hand corner. So let's see, can we take out this ore refinery? Is red going to be able to destroy me? I've only got 2 tanks left. It seems like red's a little bit stationary. I've got another tank coming through, and it looks like that ore refinery is going to go down, and that is a big win for me at the moment. So that's yellow's economy, pink's economy really hurt, and now he's going for the attack on green as well, and it looks like green's base is getting decimated a little bit at the moment, but we're just seeing what we can do. You can see that red does have quite a few Tesla around, and what we want to do is we want to focus at pink for the time being, and now we're sending in some tanks just to try and help green, because it looks like most of green's base is gone, and I wonder, does green have anything left at the moment? He's in big trouble. And now we'll have to see, because he's starting to go into my base, but I do have some decent number of tanks in this bottom position at the moment. So hopefully these tank reinforcements coming from the left are going to help me. You can see green's got some tanks left as well, but he's losing his construction yard, and that looks like it's possibly going to go down. But yeah, he just seems to have tanks all over the map. He does. But we do have some tanks in his base, and it's just a case of getting rid of these pink tanks, and also getting rid of some of his buildings in the top part of the map. But now we're sending some of these tanks through. You can see pink is on the retreat a little bit. We're going to have to see if we can take out these tanks in the middle of the map, and you can see I think green's going to the bottom right position, because that seems to be where the pink tanks are heading at the moment. But we're taking out these tanks from the middle of the map, and pink's losing quite a few tanks at this point here. And it does look like it's going to be a good opportunity for me to maybe expand a bit into pink's base, because you can see he's just sending everything at the moment, and the thing is just getting rid of those ore refineries and getting up to those couple of war factories as well. But the hurt's really going to be on pink at the moment, because you can just see the ore around that part of the map. It's just pretty much non-existent. And now he's starting to bring some tanks back, but I do have a good number of tanks here. We're just going to destroy some of those ore trucks as well, hurt his economy even more, and you can see he's got quite a number of light tanks coming back, and it's starting to bulk up at the moment. What we'll do is we'll just try and take control of this middle position, destroy any ore trucks going into there. Because I think this is the second ore truck going down, and we'll have to see. He's trying to go for the tank fight now, but he's going through a bottleneck, and it's always quite hard when you're doing that, and he won't be getting the best of trades. So let's see how this fight goes. It's light tanks against medium tanks. Also Cyan joining in with a single tanker, but his economy is completely shot. And let's see what we can do here. It looks like those pink tanks are going down, and his numbers are starting to fall. And I don't think he's going to be able to replenish these numbers much at all. And that's the big thing at this point in the game. You can see him retreating with that ore truck, because he knows I'll be if I can, I will try and go for the attack on it. And what I'm doing is I'm just having, there's something happen. Yeah, you can see that red bottleneck at the top left of the map is still there. I'm pretty surprised he hasn't come over yet, actually. And you can see those ships from yellow still doing some damage to other tanks and ore trucks. And you can actually see I've been actually losing quite a bit there because of those missile launchers. So while I wasn't paying attention, I think I've lost quite a few tanks there. So I'm going to have to pull them back and keep a bit more of an eye on what's going on with red there. But you can see now Cyan has managed to get some tanks up. And what we're going to do is we're just going to try and take out that small tank force and then probably push further up into the base. So yeah, those Cyan tanks, you can see there's just not enough, they don't have great enough numbers. The heavy tanks are obviously very, very powerful, but they need to be in large numbers to be very effective. And them going down, I'm just having a look at what Red's doing at the moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to go for Cyan's base. I think that might be his last remaining war factory, so he's possibly quite well and truly out of the game now. And that radar dome is also going to go down now. We'll have to see what does Pink decide to do. He's got some light tanks there, but he's just not got the economy anymore. He seems to be able to still produce tanks, so strangely enough. I think he's got, actually, there's some economy on the very top of the map. Some of those ore patches are regrowing, and the ore regrowth speed is quite high, so you can see his ore trucks going there. And now we're just trying to take this fight in this gap here. We'll have to see how it goes. He's got medium and light tanks in there. But we seem to be, this is quite a good position actually for a defensive position for me, just to let his tanks trickle in. And you can see how hard the tracking is to get tanks into this little part here, and he'll be using up quite a lot to try and destroy these medium tanks. But yeah, you can see Pink seemingly able to produce quite a large number of tanks there somehow. And you can see now Red coming into the fight, but is it too little too late? And you can see now Green is up there, and it looks like he's got some Tanyas, and the war factories are gone for Pink. And that's well and truly good game. Pink is destroyed and out of the game. And it also means that Cyan, I don't think Cyan has any production. And we're going to be able to take out that ore refinery, which I think is going to knock Cyan out as well. So yeah, you can see that ore refinery losing health. And yeah, he's got another base somewhere. Something. But you can see Red there with that massive number of red tanks. And I think the issue here, I think it's probably over now. I think we have to get through that red base somehow. But he hasn't been doing that much, and we're going to have control of the rest of the map. And you can see me building that MCV just to take control of those right ore patches. And I think the big thing here is that Red didn't attack, and if he had attacked and helped his teammates a bit more, I think they would have won that game, especially when my teammates were getting destroyed. Sure, he's done some missile launch attacks on these medium tanks, but what he needed to do is just go for a full-scale assault, because I think he did have the tank numbers to do that. And now Cyan's out and Red has quit the game as well. A very tough game in the end. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.